Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life could be a little bit miserable, life could be a little bit dark, so we're here to bring you as much joy and as much light as we possibly can. Hi Bradley, as usual, I'm joined by Stu. How are we doing this week, Stu?
Oh yeah, doing pretty good, surviving in the sunshine, which is always a good thing, so I can't complain at all.
You can always, we say this all the time, you can always complain.
You can, and by the end of the episode, I probably will have complained several times. So yeah, I've just made a liar of myself.
Yeah, we did have, though, recently, the last few days before recording, everyone's favourite anniversary, the death of Maggie Thatcher.
Oh, yes.
A day to be celebrated.
Absolutely. Yeah, always puts a smile on my face, I can tell you.
Oh, yes. Still feeling the effects of Maggie Thatcher, but she's gone. And what little joy you can get, you take.
You certainly do. It's a yearly little celebration that we can all have.
Yeah, but it's a weaker celebration because I don't know if you know this, but J.K. Rowling took a break from attacking trans people.
Oh dear, I've seen this, yeah.
Because she went after asexuals instead.
Correct.
Because the asexual community decided to, like, it's International Asexual Visibility Day, right? They don't bother anyone. Right? They don't bother. They went, hey, look, it's our day. And she had to go off on one.
yeah, we exist. No, you shouldn't exist. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But then there's the athletes, because there's two pool players who are trans who are in a final. It's like the only time this has ever happened, that both have got to a final. And that shows how trans women are ruining all sport. Just like people going, but you can argue it for chess. A trans person does well in chess, you're going to argue it. It's not about protecting women. It's not about the things you say. It's about you do not want these people to exist because it is Paul. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's Paul. And I don't know what advantages men have when it comes to pull over women, apart from men have been allowed to compete at a higher level for longer, hence the reason they are historically better. But as we're seeing more and more elite women play, hence the reason in darts, for example, Shamrock or whatever her name is, I can't remember what she's called. I'm not that big into darts. Farron Shamrock, something like that. She's competing with the men because she's the best women's player, and she's showing she can compete with the men. And it's not because, she's a woman who's outstanding. It's because she's now showing that when you let women compete at elite levels, they get better and can start competing with men who are at a certain level. She'll get better at that. Someone else will get better, get to try and beat her. They'll get better, and they will start competing with men. That sort of thing, whether it's chess, whether it's darts, whether it's pool, any of these sports that aren't physical, so to speak, their arguments just run dry. I get the arguments on sprinting to a degree. I don't agree with them, and I think they are wrong scientifically, but I get where their arguments come from. It's a physical thing, and men as a whole generally are stronger, more powerful, because that's just that is biology. But when it comes to elite sports, it becomes a whole other minefield. I don't agree with them. But when it comes to non-physical sports, when it comes to how good your aim on something, how good at you working out angles, how good at you are thinking ahead, how good at you at throwing things, that's nothing to do with sex, nothing to do at all with gender, just who's been doing it longer historically. So yeah, let's shut up about that.
Everyone should shut up about it. Who cares? Just people need to be left alone to live their lives, and just be treated as human beings without discrimination. It's not difficult. Do you know what I mean? But there you go. But I mean,
what I think's the fairest thing to do, right, is I think you put J.K. Rowling in a boxing ring, right, with the weakest trans woman you can find, someone who's never done boxing before, right, and let the trans woman beat the shit out of her, right, and then you put her in a boxing ring with the best woman's boxer that's ever existed, and let her batter the fuck out of J.K. Rowling, and then she can decide who hits harder.
Yeah, just the theme emerging of wanting her to get battered, really, which you know,
and then
it's
put Mike Tyson
understandable.
in the ring with J.K. Rowling.
Ask her to compare, can compare and contrast.
Yeah, yeah. Oh dear. Do you know what else is just as fun as battering J.K. Rowling? Don't actually physically attack people because that is wrong, but in the context of sport and metaphorically, it's fine. But don't actually go battering people. Violence is wrong. But do you know what? It's just as fun metaphorically as battering J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, what's that?
Video games, Joe. I choked on myself then.
Video games, that's right. And also, you know, yeah, everything that you do physically in video games doesn't count in the real world. So yeah, that kind of tracks. Yeah.
Yes. Wonder if you ever see anyone complain that a trans woman is in an esports league or something. You never really see it that much.
Well, I mean, there's a whole subsection of the internet that's dedicated to getting rid of woke games, as we've discussed in the past.
Yeah, but they're full on weirdos. But what I'm getting at, very quick, I think you need to go back and circle back. But it shows where I think like the younger generation is so more accepting that esports is still a growing thing. And on the whole, I don't get me wrong, they're dickheads, right? But on the whole, you don't hear the there's a trans woman playing video games and she's better than some other women or men or whoever. So yeah. Esports all the way, then it doesn't matter.
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
Convert all sport to esport. There you go.
I wonder how that would work. I mean, it would work, yeah. But we won't get into that because we've got to cover what have you been playing?
Oh, yeah. So I've been playing with a tiny garden.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that's not a euphemism either. The game is called Tiny Garden. So do you remember, you grew up in the 80s and that, Stu? Okay, we'll put our age on it. Do you remember Polly Pocket?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, little clamshell type things. You lived in little Polly Pocket. You used to decorate the houses on them. I mean, I never had it. My sister did, but they were cool, right? Polly Pockets were cool, right? Now, imagine in video game form, you had essentially Polly Pocket, but in there you actually grew a little tiny garden. I mean, the clue was in the title, in all fairness, with the tiny garden bit.
It does give it away.
That's basically what you have. For whatever reason, you got a Polly Pocket style shell that you open up and you decorate the top half of the shell with knickknacks you find or you earn, and then in the bottom bit you've got this very small green area that has little garden patches that you put on there, and that's the game. It's basically doing that little bit more to it, but you have to earn the bits you plant in the garden. So you start off and they give you these basic seeds and that'll grow like this one bit of vegetable to start with, and then you go, okay, that's grew that, and to unlock the next bag of seeds it goes, right, you need like 2 of this vegetable and you unlock the seeds to grow carrots. So you go, all right, okay, so we'll grow this, pick them, and then I've got 2 turnips, I think it is, and I can use those turnips now to buy carrot seeds. You get the carrot seeds, you plant those, and then it goes, right, you now need X amount of carrot seeds to unlock cactus. Don't know why, don't ask how. There's no rhyme or reason as to why certain things unlock other things, but you grow the cactus, and then the next one might need a carrot seed and a cactus seed, and then you can plant those, you get those, you unlock the next seed, and that's how you progress. But as you progress, different types of seeds need different types of what do you call that thing on the floor, like beds, is it called?
Oh, right, yeah, bedding.
Different types of terrain, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you'll get some that just need basic soil, others need to be grass based, others need sort of like a water based thing, and what it starts doing, it becomes more of a puzzle game. So you unlock a seed that goes, right, I need to be planted in grass, so that I can build. It's like a cabbage, I think it is, or lettuce, or whatever it is you grow in grass. But before that, you've unlocked 2 bushes, and if you plant 2 bush seeds within like opposite each other, but with a space in between, they create a green square, and that's where you then plant your next in. As long as they're there, that's green. Get rid of them, and you turn, because you have to turn a crank to make it all grow. And then sort of like, so you have to do that, and there's one where you get fountain tools to unlock, and that creates water, And then if you plant like a cactus next to the water, so that it says like the soils that are adjacent to it, if they touch water, turn into like another type of soil, like a sod almost. And then you can plant things in there. And you need to work out what terrains you need to open up new seeds. And then there's different levels of seeds you can get by you go, right, to open up the second level of seeds, which is like more farm-based stuff, you need X amount of these fruits from the first batch. And then you can unlock it. You progress the game like that. The more you progress, the more things you can unlock for both seeds and planting and then decorating the upper shell with. And it's just this cozy, relaxing game. There's no like foul state or anything like that, because you get, even if you use up all your seeds and everything, it keeps dropping you like new seeds whenever you find, like just every like sporadically throughout the game. You'll go, oh, put some more seeds. But even if you use all those up, you've got nothing. You always got access to a very basic seed, so you can start again. And I've done this a few times. I went, oh, I've got myself a bit overwhelmed. Don't quite know where I'm going with this. So I want to unlock this seed that's like way down the line, like about 3 hours into the game. Want to unlock this seed, right? What do I need? I need this one to make that one. And you kind of go back, you logically start building it up to unlock this new seed. And it's this like, it works out as this really sort of like cozy puzzle game. It's just all about decorating, and it's we're seeing more of these games come out where it's just a look, here's a mechanic, have fun with it. And this is what this does. The tiny garden bit, it's like, it's just an aesthetic choice. You could do this as like, oh, you're in a full-size garden and just you've got your plots of land. You could do it, but adding the like the Polly Pocket style clamshell to it gives it like this toy-like feel, and it just makes it feel extra cutesy, and it's sort of like just really, really cool. And I've spent maybe sort of like 4 or 5 hours going through it, just like plodding along half hour at a time, and it's just a great time all round. Lovely style. It's got again this kind of pastel-y style to it. And it's just absolutely fabulous. And it's like what is it? It's like a tenner, I think, something like that. Well worth it.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. I just, again, happy at the preponderance of how many of these there are, just loads of them knocking about, loads of nice original ideas packed into a regular framework, and very cozy and very relaxing. Yeah. Excellent stuff.
Yeah. Highly recommended. And I'd say they're not going to be for everyone. You might already have something like this, and it's not, oh, you've got to get this one. But it's just one of those that if you're looking for something just to relax and play, it's just, I've got it on the Steam Deck. It's not got proper controller controls built into it yet. It's a PC only game at the moment. But it works absolutely fine on Steam Deck. I had to adjust a couple of button layouts because of how I asked you to rotate and things like that. But it took me like 2 seconds to set up a control system that I was comfortable with. I dare say at some point they might add controls, or someone's going to make a community setting. But say apart from doing that, it plays absolutely perfectly on Steam Deck, and it's ideal just to sort of like play a tiny little game, relaxing game like that on the sofa, Steam Deck in hand, with no worries whatsoever.
Brilliant, and we can look forward to the Switch 2 release when it's going to be about 80 quid. So
yes,
yeah, excellent.
Oh, let's not do that again. Switch. Let's not talk about the Switch 2. Ridiculous.
Probably best.
I didn't even get an invite from Nintendo, so I'm boycotting.
Yeah, too right. No money for you.
Have you been playing something bigger than a tiny garden?
Yeah, but not much bigger. I've been playing Gal Guardian's Demon Purge, singular. Although it's funny, isn't it? Because they're collectively referred to as demons, but it's Demon Purge. I don't know. Okay. It's Gal Guardian's Demon Purge, which I've been playing. That was unnecessarily complicated, wasn't it? And yeah,
it's like me trying to describe something.
I know, yeah. I've been around you too long. That's the problem, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's by INTI Creates, who did part of Bloodstained not. I don't know if they did Ritual of the Night. Well, do you know whether the people who did the Kickstarter went on to do the other one? I'm not really making a lot of sense, am I?
No,
well, anyway.
I know what you mean, but I've not got a clue.
Yeah. Well, the one that was Child of the Moon, Circle of the Moon, whatever it was called, they did that. And this is, it's sort of in a similar vein, but it is different, thankfully. Because basically the premise is it's like, what if Symphony of the Night, but it was an action platformer and you're going back into Dracula's castle, but this time you've got a machine gun. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's like elevator pitch, totally a winner. He's just the green light straight away. And like I say, it's action platformer. You've got you switch between these two gals, gals, I don't know. You switch between them. One of them's got a machine gun, as I say, one of them's got like a melee weapon, and you go around and you defeating stuff very much in the style of a platformer that is copying Castlevania. But yeah, it's really nice that you've got like a distance weapon in there, and it's not tied to magic, and it doesn't have like a burn down counter. You don't have to like refill it, or you have to reload, but you don't have to refill it. So it's kind of like, a proper use of weapons. So it is just like a blend of a good old kind of run and gun style mechanic with a classic platform game like Castlevania. But yeah, like I say, you switch between these two of these characters. It's not instant when you switch between them, so there's a bit of thought needed, because you press the button, there's a bit of floofiness, there's a bit of posing and a special effect, and then a couple of seconds later you swapped. So that means it's not just like storming around like some steroidal soldier from a Contra game. It's a bit more strategic. You've got to look ahead. You've got to look at the level. You've got to plan. You like kind of melee my way through this section, or do I need to hang back, pick stuff off at a distance? And then, of course, when it comes to the boss fights, you've got to work out, which character is best for this. Do I need to switch between them? Which of their special weapons or protective elements works best for this? So, it encourages like some proper planning. And it's a bit slower of a game because of that. It's not your regular sort of charge around, blast everything in sight, and it depends on your reactions. There is a bit of forethought needed in it. And so there's like fewer enemies because of that. There's not as many as you get in these kind of action forward games. But it works to its advantage. It actually feels pretty new for the genre. So even though it's kind of a bit of a, at least looks wise, a bit of a Symphony of the Night rip-off, bit of a Castlevania rip-off. It's not really. It's got enough of its own characteristics, and the sprite work is great. It looks really nice. It's not just like a one-to-one copy of an ancient game. It's got a real, stamp of its own.
Yeah.
And it, treads this fine line between being, the classic action arcade style game and a more modern, sophisticated, slower paced one. And it treads it really well. It does it really well. And I'd say the only downsides are there's some quality of life stuff have changed, some slow loading in places, a little bit of overlong backtracking when you die, and imperfect checkpointing and the like. But, they're kind of just minor niggles. And otherwise, it's really an excellent example of the form. I've been having a lot of pleasure from it, and looking forward to playing it all the way through. It's definitely one I'll complete. So thumbs up for this one.
Does look really good. I would argue the design of the characters is very Japanese.
Yes,
it's a bit stuck in the past in many ways. But also it's like they've gone, well, let's try and tone it down a bit. But they still got to have thigh-high stockings on.
Yeah, that's not nice. And it's not in game. They're not like the character sprites aren't sexualized, but the artwork is, which is frustrating. That's really
par for the course. It's like with the demon thingy or other, like those dungeon crawler games that they done the rounds for a while. And they do all those, and that's like the in-game characters are fine, but then when you cut to the cutscene to the artwork, it's like they've got the skimpiest like tops on and stuff like that. And it's always one of those. It's like great games slightly tarnished by some weird artwork.
It's really bizarre. I mean, especially like vertical shoot 'em ups. There's like bullet hell shoot 'em ups. There's every single one of them is like the most, straightforward. You shoot stuff. It's all about some sprites hitting another sprite and they're brightly coloured. And yet all the artwork. Oh, your machine of death is piloted by this skimpily dressed woman with massive knockers, and it's just like, what? Come on.
But they did it with puzzle games like Magical Drop and the Puzznic games or the Japanese. Like you like, for whatever reason, you've done it, and it was like, hey, look, here's a half naked woman for no reason. It's like, okay,
I know,
if you say so. But the game does look really, really good. It's again, what I would say, like, if you're in a partnership, right, you're like Tango and Cash or like the Gale Guardians here. One of you's got a machine gun and one of you's melee. I'm gutted if I'm the melee one. Give me the machine gun. I want the machine gun.
Because they're fun. Because they're more fun. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And there might be a video game J.K. Rowling there. I want a machine gun down. Again, machine gun J.K. Rowling in video games, it's fine. Don't do it in real life, okay?
Oh yeah. I like the good thing about the melee character is they have a specific animation where when you kill an enemy sprite with her, it like chops them in half. So she probably picked that weapon because it was fun to like cut things, cleanly in half. Yeah.
Something cut in half, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. Caveat: don't do that in real life. But
caveat: yes, we are making jokes because she's a horrible, horrible person.
Yes, she is. But what isn't horrible is video games, and I know that you've been playing another one. So, what is the second one you've been playing?
The second one is quite possibly going to be the Critics' Choice Game of the Year. Because this is, for some people, it's come out of nowhere. For others who know the indie scene are very aware of this. It's called Blue.
I was just going to say, can I guess what it's called? But it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no. You've done it now. It's the one that's a pun. Blue something.
Blue Viagra.
No. What's it called?
Blueprints.
Yes, I saw this. I was like, oh, everyone's talking about this. And then I was like, it's a puzzle game. Can't be asked. But I was going to ask you if you played it, so go ahead.
So it's not a puzzle game. It's its own thing. That's how I'm going to put this. It's described as puzzle. It's like this mystery stroke investigation game. Exploration is a big part of it, things like that. It's also somewhat of a deck builder without being a deck builder in some ways. And it is a roguelike, but not what you would consider a traditional roguelike. So basically, you inherit, like, this heritage you're given. You inherit this mansion, essentially. But to get it, you've got to find your way to the mysterious 40. I want to say it's the 46th. Yeah, 46th room. So there's 45 rooms in this mansion, but to get it, you've got to find your way to the hidden, mysterious 46th room that no one has ever found. And the person who left you this mansion has gone, if you find this, it's yours. If you don't, it goes. You get all the fortune with it. So you go in, and what you basically have to do is you go in and you're presented with like this foyer area to start with, and you've got 3 doors, one forward, one left, one right. And you choose a door to go through, and when it unlocks, the door opens and it goes, right, you now choose what room is past this door, and you get a choice of one of 3 different room options or blueprints. And so you might get like a hallway, a chapel, a library, a bedroom, a kitchen, a nook, a study, all loads of different types of rooms. And each room has a different ability. So you might have a corridor, and the corridor is literally a corridor, a hallway. I think it's described as in the game. Might be a hallway that allows you to travel through it and at the end of it, there's another door you can go through. Then you get another choice of blueprints. You might go to a room that says, right, so backtrack slightly, sorry, this. Every step you take, so every room you go into, you use up a step, and you've got like 50 steps for each day. So every time you go into a room, you go from 50 to 49. If you then go back out of that room to where you were, 49 to 48. But you might go to a room that says, right, if you go into this room, every time you go into this room, you gain 2 steps. So you might go from 49, it'll drop to 48, but go back up to 50 because you get your 2 steps for going in. So what you do is start placing these rooms down. You might get another one that gives you a one-time benefit of 10 steps, or you might get another one that gives you coins or takes away coins. You might get another one that needs a key to unlock, and you go into, there might be another room you've unlocked somewhere that has a chest in there, and in there is a key, or there's gems, or there's other things that you might need. There's other rooms you go into, they might just have nothing, just options for doors and stuff like that. And you go in there, there's this grid, it's like 6 by whatever it is up to try, like, you've got to fill in. Essentially what you need to do is fill in the entire map to unlock the 46th room and get to the 46th room. So, you know, if you just beeline up, you're not going to do it because you've got to fill in all the other bits. So you kind of go, right, I know I need to go, maybe I want to start and go 3 wide. So I want to go through the left door, and I want to get an option that allows me to go left again or turn right so I can go up. Or, you know, you want to try and fit it all in, and you go, right, I think I've got this logic now. If I start the left side and go 1, 2, 3, and then up, 1, 2, 3, up, and then you try and build it up like that, you go, right, I think I've got this. But then you go, actually, I've done this wrong because I've been using up all my steps and I'm not going to get enough to get through. And I can't go back because it's going to take a step to go through. Like, as you start learning what all the different rooms do and how they lay out, and it's great. It's about discovery, learning how you kind of need to synergize the rooms, like not just through layout where doors are, but what the rooms do. So you might go in, like, an early puzzle room you go into does the 3 box puzzle, where one is always a lie and one is always a truth kind of thing. And it'll be like you go in there and there's like these 3 boxes, like a white box, a blue box, and a red box, I think it is. And it turns a black box, sorry. And one of the boxes will say, and it goes, the key is never in the white box. And the white box might say the key is in the white box, or the key's in here, and the blue box might say don't listen to the black box. And then you've got to work out through that what one's lying, what one's telling the truth, where the key is. This is the 3 doors puzzle, isn't it, essentially? Yeah, and you kind of work that out, and you kind of, like, you do that repeatedly. So, like, obviously, whenever you start your day, you might come across that puzzle again. So you kind of learn the patterns and everything. And what's a really good idea with this is to have, like, a pen and paper with you, if you can, to not make notes. It's just great to sort of, like, work out, like, if I can work out the lie and truth 3 doors puzzle and just note it down, it's not the same answer every time, but if you go, right, that's what I'm looking for when I get in there, that's what that combination's going to be. So you kind of go, right, what are the statements and how do they work? So you can just work that out. Where do I want to place you sort of go, where do I want to place a room that takes away coins? Because it benefits me to do this. Because I need coins at this room to unlock, say, like a shovel, which allows me to go back to, like, outdoor areas, because there's outdoor rooms like patios and stuff like that, where you can dig things up, and it might give you more coins, more gems. And you'll get some rooms that need gems to unlock, some rooms that need keys, and you can buy things that help you. You can, like, there's like effects you can have. So you can open up a room and it'll go, right, all blueprints you see from the doors out of this room are hidden. So you will choose from the 3, but you're not going to know what they are. So you've got to go, right, okay, so what's my best option here? Where do I use this? Do I use this here? And so you kind of work all these things out, and there'll be other rooms you can buy things that will go, all key rooms are now unlocked because you can find a security room that unlocks all security doors and things like that. So there's loads of little things you could do. And it's like, oh, I've been playing this for hours and I've got nowhere near the 46th room because you're going back, you have to start again. And you don't unlock things like a traditional roguelike, but what you're doing is you're unlocking knowledge, which is where the pen and paper comes in. Because I've worked out it's never best just to go straight down the middle. So I never open up the middle door of the first room, because that leads you to pretty much get in, having to only go back on yourself. Because if you go first room and you try go up, you're only going to lead yourself into a corner. So you want to start off on one of the corners. And I've worked that out, but you need, and then I go, right, so if I go there, these are the rooms I need. And I know I don't want to place a corner here. If I place a corner here, that's my mum pretty much ruined. And you get all these things, you're building these knowledge. Yes, you do unlock, as the further you go, you unlock new room types and stuff like that. But that's just based on where you're getting into the level. It's not, oh, you unlock it by, if you keep, say you went into the foyer, you went back and forth between the same room 50 times to waste all your steps. It's not all of a sudden, right, okay, so I've done that, it's now definitely going to unlock these. So it's not like a progression system based unlock where you can buy this unlock and it's permanent. It's just the further you get into the level, the more room types it offers. And once you know that, you know, right, okay, the further I go, I'm going to get these types of rooms. So it is roguelike, but there's no like unlocks as such. But there are unlocks within each run that you can do that can aid with each run. The puzzles get really clever, some of them. There's very much an escape room element to some of it as well. There's hidden chambers. There's like so much mystery throughout the game as well, and it's really well presented. It's like this first person thing, but it plays more like, I say, it's more like a puzzle game in terms of, you know, it's not worried about precision this. So you're not going, oh God, look, there's that, I've got to get to that. It's kind of obvious where things are in the rooms, and it's just a case of you finding out literally the best routes. And it's one of those, I started playing it and I was like, okay, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And then all of a sudden I just found myself hours deep into it going, this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And because I've been playing it for a number of weeks, I've got a really early code. I've not seen any guides or anything out there, and it's just literally by me feeding stuff out that I'm making progress. And I didn't even know about the idea of, like, one of the big suggestions for everyone is, oh, you need a pen and paper. I done that on my own. I went, right, I'm going to need something to note this down, because this combination is never working. So I now know I need to avoid this combination. So I noted it down. Don't go corridor, bedroom, corner, because that just was not working. And I was going, right, so if I do this into this, that's always then going to lead into a door that I cannot get through. And one of the biggest things you don't want to do in the game, if you put two doors opposite each other, like, so when you put in a room and you've got two doors that are almost touching, then, like, a door goes to a wall or something, that's it, you can't use that door anymore. So you can get to areas where you can't use doors and stuff like that. And it's like, right, so I've got to think about that. So you kind of work out all these patterns that go on. And it's got this tinge to the game, like the presentation, the visuals, it's kind of like this cel-shaded visual presentation. But it's like, it's got this blue tint to it that makes you feel uneasy at all times. You never feel comfortable in the game. So it's not relaxing, but there's also a familiarity to it where you just kind of want to be in there. You want to push forward. It's not a colour like scheme that's going, get out of this game. You do not want to be here. But you're never sort of like going through the game going, this is the most like relaxing game. Like Tiny Garden, I could spend a couple of hours in, just relax. This never feels relaxing, but it feels familiar. You want to be there. It's like that colour, the way the colourway for it and the way it presents itself. It's just digging at something in your brain, that's constantly digging at you to want to progress and find out what's next. And it drip feeds you in such a good way that you're just like, oh, I've got to go again. I've got to go again because I've just done this. And this combination I haven't tried before, and I've got, does this work? And oh, actually, if I do this with this one and it gives me these, I can do this. And you're just constantly thinking. And it's got the Tetris effect to it, where I finish a session, I could be going to bed, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm sort of like bolt upright going, oh, yes, I could do that. When I next play it, that's what I'm going to try. And games that can have that lasting effect on you should be celebrated, should be respected, and I hope this wins every single award under the sun this summer. I hope it knocks any AAA game completely out the water, because, I say, the critics quite often can overhype stuff. They're very right about this. There's something. It's very hard to say to somebody, this is why this is that good. This is like a special game. Play it. It is special.
Okay. I might have to give it a go then. It's released today as we're recording, isn't it? The 10th,
Yes.
10th of April.
Yes. There was a demo. I don't know if there's a demo anymore.
No.
I don't know what the price is. I'm going to see if I've got that in my notes, what the price is. I've had this since the beginning of March. Bloody hell. No, I don't have a price for it.
It's not got a price on Steam at the moment. It just says it's going to unlock in approximately less than an hour. So it's going to just after we stop recording.
Anything less than 20 quid, just buy it without thinking. If you've got, obviously, again, this goes like within the, if you haven't got money to spend, obviously don't buy video games. But if you've got a budget for video games, anything less than 20 quid, instantly. Personally, I think this is worth it as a 30 quid 30 quid game. There's that much value in it in terms of how long you'll be playing it and what it does to you and things like that. Obviously, that means it'll be 90 quid on Switch too, but what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it'll probably run worse than it does on any other platform. But hey, still buy it.
But yeah, if this is not in the discussion at the end of the year, we said this last year about certain games, if this is not in the discussion, then boy, we have got an amazing second half of 2025 coming up.
Brilliant. Yeah, it does look very intriguing. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Obviously, it's everyone's favourite Prince. This one.
Yeah.
Last time I asked for a Blueprints, they gave me a DVD of a certain Andrew, and I was like, I don't want that.
I thought you were going to say, he got a sex tape from the artist formerly known as Prince.
No. We was discussing actually. There was about sort of like you never see one thing you don't see anymore, and I don't know if it was more of a northern thing, right? But whenever we used to go to the Sandon pub before a Liverpool game, there was always like a little old Chinese lady who would go round and try and sell you DVDs. I'm not going to do the accent, but she'd always go around going DVD. And there would always be someone that would shout out, got any blueies? And it's just like, face just like, just nothing. It was just like absolutely nothing to people. It was just like, yeah, someone's asking for porn on DVD for the little Chinese woman.
Yeah, that sounds like a very Scouser thing to do.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It's like, so there's that cartoon now, isn't there, Bluey? I can't. I'm glad my daughter's not interested in it, because I'm not letting her watch Bluey. I mean, I know what it is. And just as a little side story, you know who Pete Price is, don't you?
Pete Price
used to be. Used to be on Radio City, like very Liverpool, Radio City, knobhead. Right, so he's down in London, and he gets on the tube, and like the video comments all going, oh, it doesn't matter who this person is, you shouldn't be putting a camera in his face and mocking him, blah 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 blah. And there's like people going, like obviously Scousers going, it's Pete Price, he deserves it, he's a wrong one. But basically, like, if you're Pete Price, he's a controversial figure on the radio. And gets wound up very easily. They used to do like a phone-in show on Radio City. So he's down in London, where you probably think you're safe. His worst nightmare has to be, he gets on the tube, gets his hand stuck in the tube doors, and he's on a carriage with a bunch of Scousers. in London who recognise him straight away and are just pissing themselves laughing, camera in his face. So Reggie just ends up getting angry and telling them all to fuck off, which is what he would pretty much do on the radio and stuff, like, without the swearing. But it's just, there's people going, you shouldn't be mean, you know, you should have just put a camera in someone's face. But it's like, it's just going, but it's Pete Price. I know what that is, and it's like, I'm glad I know what that is, but you think you're safe in London?
I'm looking that up on YouTube straight after this. That's got to happen.
Oh, I love it. It's on TikTok. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube. It's definitely on TikTok, but yeah, just search up Pete Price. You'll probably see loads of stuff. But Liverpool, like, they've got like, on the cop sometimes you see it, or generally when we go away in Europe, there's a flag that's taken about basically the flag amongst all the others, so all these famous Liverpool flags, and in amongst them there's always one that says Pete Price is a cunt.
Well, that's superb.
Unless you know, it's just the weirdest flag to see for anyone else.
Oh, so scouse. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I know, love it. But yeah, it's like there's other things where they talk about sort of like Papalaki and stuff like that, and you always see like people not from Liverpool who aren't aware of Liverpool with these blank expressions going, what?
I can imagine.
What do you mean he's a nonce? He's a nonce, but it's all right. What do you mean? He killed what? People died on a railway because, and he's all right? What? Yeah, he's our nonce, isn't it? It's fine.
Yeah.
Massive guy. Just go carry your bags. But anyway, yeah, that went places.
It did. And we've come to the end of those places for this week, because there's only so much fun we can have. So
yes. Please don't attack J.K. Rowling in real life.
Yeah, don't physically attack J.K. Rowling. But, you know, feel free to hate her within your own body, head, your mind and your soul. That's absolutely fine. But
I want them into video games.
Yeah. But
I want them into trans video games. Oh, yeah, do it.
Stop it now.
Sorry.
And we're out. So, as usual, follow us on all the socials. Make sure you check out the content on the website. Talk to us on Discord if you feel like it. And until next week, stay safe and stay sane.